Hello, I wanted to draw a picture or analogy of, of interpretation of life as we see it from the non three dimensional standpoint, and showcase to you kind of the pitfalls and the interpretations of your life in the three dimensional form. And so, Tanya in her three dimensional being has been given a picture or interpretation that life itself is basically like a three-dimensional kindergarten class, right? It exists as this little hovering pod of existence where you is one of the kids and everyone around you is another kid, and there's a whole bunch of you living in kindergarten. And um, the best way to interpret that, or the best way for you to interpret the kindergarten situation, would be to realize that you are living in the space where you're meant to play. You are living in the space where you're meant to discover. You're meant to explore and see new. You're meant to take yourself and dive yourself in deep into every aspect of what you think might be a kindergarten center within the space. And so, from three-dimensional standpoint, I can my kindergarten class drawing back. Had a book reading corner, right? And then they had a toy corner, right? Going now slightly more out. You had the blocks, and you had the cars, and you had the dolls, and you had the kitchen, and then you had the paints, and the pencils, and all of them represented these little stations, these just interpretations of how you can walk into a space and then experience life, right? Life in you as a parent, life in you as an adult seeking a career, life in you as a student going through college. And so all of these little stations, all of these little places to visit within this room are simply there for you to play and explore and draw an interpretation of you, of what it means to be this person, or what it means to be that person. And so life is meant to be on this three-dimensional space, a life of love and exploration and desire and discovery. And so I want you to walk this plane, and I want you to recognize this plane from the standpoint of what it means to be in kindergarten, right? Did you ever take things seriously, right? Did you ever, interpret something as the end of the world because this station happened to had something go awry in it, right? How seriously did you really take things back when you were 4 or 5 years old, right? Your interpretation of self was so lighthearted and so love centered that you couldn't potentially dive into any one instances or any one situations within any one of the kindergarten centers to say that that was the defining moment for the rest of your life, right? That one incident where Tommy took your blocks was the end of the world for you, and then therefore all the other centers from that point on and your entire kindergarten experience was then basically destroyed because of the one thing that happened with Tommy and the blocks, right? And so, th- in imagine and start analyzing your life from the standpoint of kindergarten. Truly see yourself as a child at play, right? Truly see yourself as a human being who's here to experience the vastness of the options that you're offered, the vastness of opportunities of self that you're able to see and interpret and reflect on, uh, and never let any one block accident or paint spill or a kitchen disaster to actually affect your being outside the perspective of what that moment actually is, right? It is each moment of block fallings or paint spillings or the kitchen disasters are simple interpretations of you in the space of that moment, in the space of that experience. And that within itself draws in this beautiful acceptance of the world as is, without any judgments or filters, without any preconceived notions of what is and what isn't. You are simply open-heartedly open to simply explore. And if something goes awry based on whatever definition of awry you happen to be drawing at that time, that is beautiful. That is exactly what life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be endless moments and interpretations of you as the most amazing human being, uh, playing in kindergarten. And so, from three-dimensional standpoint, I, as Tanya, will say that I tend to take things very seriously. That is a something I've recognized within myself. I think it is a self-defense mechanism to gain or perceive ideas of control when I feel things are out of my control. And so, uh, through my recognition that I have the need to take things seriously, I can then start to repopulate my understanding of, wait, why is this block area and Tommy stealing my blocks or dropping my tower that I just built such a big deal, right? What in that moment causes me to have a reflection or to have a response and then affects the rest of my life, right? Uh, and and so that then that takes that interpretation and and puts me into this cognitive unplayful me, right? Where the next thing that I do is ultimately affected by the block area of my play. And so next time I paint, right, I'm on the lookout of things not going right. Wait, is Tommy gonna show up again and spill my paint? Well, and so you can see how this can extrapolate itself from a simple little thing that might be misinterpreted, might not be optimal, but are taking too heartedly, uh, and instead allowing it to just flow through you as another day in kindergarten, and then not letting that experience or that set of circumstances to any way carry over into the paint area or your kitchen play or the baby dolls or the cars or the trucks or you name it, right? Whatever your kindergarten game of choice is. Um, and so yes, start playing and start recognizing that even if things are not necessarily to your liking or they're not necessarily going to the plan that you have designed, that's a whole other topic is why do we design a plan? But that they are there because they're meant to be experienced and interpreted and looked at as beautiful moments of you, right? Beautiful moments of your interactions with the world, beautiful moments of you interpreting uh, this new facet of you as a scenario in kindergarten block area. And so play and don't take things too seriously. Allow the play to just be as a child in your heart. Like bring the child back and just smile. Just smile at the fact that everything is there as your kindergarten station to live with and to play with and then give everyone the same amount of grace you would give yourself if you were a 5-year-old kindergartner. Right? Not many things can be taken seriously when you're a 5-year-old kindergartner, and then not many things would affect you. Not many things would be a big deal, right? We wouldn't have any obstacles or preconceived notions or beliefs for the rest of our kindergarten experience, um, if we just simply took it as one day at a time. What is the best way for me to play with myself today? Right? What is the best way for me to play with the world today? In kindergarten, right? And so live from that standpoint. I cannot imagine a nicer, a more relaxed and endearing and beautiful way to interpret life than just to come into the space with play and joy and almost the idea of why does it matter, right? In the long run, does the block falling change the aspects of my kindergarten experience as a whole, right? Or is tomorrow, in fact, the next minute, a better opportunity for me to build a better tower, right? Opportunity for me to work with Tommy and allow him to be part of my experience, right? Or to see why is Tommy, destroying things, and maybe you can help them design something that he's happy with, right? It's a way for us to play and work and interpret each other and ourselves into this world. And that's the analogy that you should live with. That we are the beings of love, are here playing, game of kindergarten. We're 5 years old, and it's okay because that is what 5 year olds do. So just approach life with that lens, and I think everything will change. Thank you for listening.